So it's good that they're going to bring those experts to the table and try to paint a picture of what this threat is and the various threat actors. And very critically, they need to have fact-based information to point to why certain threat actors are of more concern to the government, say white supremacist, violent extremists, and certain anti-government extremists that fall on the right side of the spectrum, like the militias, versus what President Trump has painted for the last year, this boogeyman of left-wing violent extremism, and using the label Antifa, which is not a group, but if you talk to the average American, they think it is, and they think Antifa is going to ruin all of our cities. So there's a lot of disinformation out there. Maybe 40-50% of the country has bought into the way that Trump was framing it, and in order to begin to try to correct some of that disinformation, they need to be very careful to stick to facts and do a rigorous analytic job, one that it would be difficult to do in being in office for a total of 4 days. I suspect that part of the reason they walk this fine line, they're also seeing the environment within, I want to say it was within a few days, you had commentators on Fox News and Newsmax and OAN alleging that they is, the deep state, they is, the people on this podcast, anybody with counterterrorism experience, they is the progressive liberals, Nancy Pelosi, they're going to make all of us domestic terrorists. 74 million Americans that voted for Trump are going to be domestic terrorists. Just you wait. They're going to not let us practice our religion. They're going to shut down our churches. If you watch some of these, and some of these are happening on relatively mainstream, it's not just on Parler, for example, relatively mainstream conservative media, sadly, the disinformation has an effect, and it's going to make the job of counterterrorism officials harder, because what does that do? It feeds the anger, it feeds the grievance, and it has the effect of potentially taking people and radicalizing them further. It might justify in their minds why they do need to go join that militia, because their government has turned against them and the political process has failed them because the election was stolen. And therefore, it is appropriate for us to cry for revolution and fight back